Chapter 1 study guide, we want to take a look at, make sure that we can do all these problems since it's so similar to what the test will look like. I'm going to do not every problem, but enough problems to where there's at least one of each type of problem so that you can kind of follow that pattern and figure out how to do the other ones. Let's start with number 1 here. In number 1, it says Susan works in an ice cream shop, earns $8.75 per hour. Last week worked 32 hours. What's her straight time pay? So remember, straight time is S equals R, which is the rate of pay. We multiply that times our H, which is the hours worked. In this case, the rate of pay is $8.75 an hour. The hours worked looks like it's 32. So I'm simply going to take 875, I'm going to multiply it by 32, and when I do that, I should get $280. So that's my answer for number 1. Number 2 is the exact same thing. So it's our rate, which in that case is there, times our hours, which in this case is 35. Let's take a look at number 3. Number 3, our straight time pay. So same formula, R times H equals our straight time pay. In this case, our R, or our rate, is $12.12 per hour. Our H would be our hours worked. Now here, regular pay is up to 40 hours in a week. Everything over that is overtime. So I'm going to go ahead, and my hours here for regular pay is 40. So I will go $12.12 times those 40 hours. When I multiply that, it will give me my straight time pay, or my regular pay, which is $484.80. For 4 is my overtime pay. So remember, our overtime pay formula is O equals parentheses 1.5 times our rate. In this case, we said our rate was 12.12. And then we multiply that amount by our hours worked. In this case, the number of hours worked is anything over 40 hours. We worked 43 hours. So 3 of those hours are overtime, so it would be times 3. I'm going to go 1.5 times 12.12. Remember, order of operations says I do this first. 1.5 times 12.12 is 1818 times my 3 here. And when I do that, 1818 times 3, I should get $54.54. For my total pay, remember the total pay equals the regular straight line pay plus the overtime pay. In this case, my straight time pay was $484.80. My overtime pay was $54.54. So when I add those two together, it's going to give me my total pay. And in this case, my total pay would be $539.34. I just simply added those two amounts, regular pay and overtime pay, together. Now, at the bottom half of this picture here, we've got our time cards. So how many hours did we work each day? And then we simply add up the total number of days to get the grand total for the week. So if I started work at 8 and I ended work at 12:01, I was at work for 4 hours and 1 minute. If I started work at 12:30 and I ended work at 4:39, I go from 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30. So I'm at 4 hours plus those 9 minutes. So it's 4 hours and 9 minutes. So now for the total number of hours I worked that day, I take my 4 hours and 1 minute and I add my 4 hours and 9 minutes, and that gives me 8 hours and 10 minutes. Now remember though, they're not going to pay us in 10-minute increments, they pay us in 15-minute increments. So this is past, because of that rule of nines, this here is past the 9-minute mark. So we would get the quarter hour, the 15 minutes. So it would be 8¼ hours that we get here. Another way to write that would be 8.25. Either one is fine. So then if we look here at the next day, 8:30 to 12:35, well, that would be 4 hours, 5 minutes. And then from 12:59 to 5:30 would be 4 hours and 31 minutes. I add those together, and that is 8 hours and 36 minutes. This is not at 8:39, so it wouldn't round to 3/4 of an hour. Instead, it's closer to 8:30, so it would be 8½ hours. Again, I could write it as 8½. Another way to write this would be 8.5. Another way to write this would be 8.25. I continue doing that for the 5 days, add them up to get my total numbers of hours worked for that week.